Halloween week is now here. We've got the latest drop for the mini-series from Test Drive Unlimited, one that I'm actually quite positive about. You guys know I'm quite big on these mini-series, and as we can see, Halloween week 1 from the 16th of October to the 23rd, just a couple of days left on this one. But as we can see, it's going to be much the same iteration as we've had with the previous series. The grand reward of a sticker. First of all, we'll jump over to Live Race 3. 680 RP cross country, daily driver and grand tourer. So a wide category, wide variety of cars we can use once again. Again, the rewards of 18,000 credits for that race. We'll drop on down here to live event race 1. Once again, 18,000 credits for winning. Cross country, daily driver and grand tourers. Interestingly, only 4-wheel drives and front wheel drives. Over to race number 2. Same steps again, 18,500 or 18,750 credit rewards. Now, what race is going to be the one to get us through quickest here? It looks like it may be race 3, a asphalt race. So it's going to be quite a quick couple of laps we can knock out with that one. This one looks quite interesting also. But we're going to choose the car, and I did want to go with the Stratos, a rally legend here. But like we can see, it is rear wheel drive. And on this basis, there's only one other option we can go with for a rally legend. It's going to be the Lancia Delta Integrale. Awesome, awesome piece of history. This is right in front of us, the Lancia Delta Integrale. We'll equip this, we'll get it set up for off-road, and we'll also get the all-road suspension and tyres here as well, just in case we do need them. Not sure how the tracks, the circuits are going to lay out for us just yet. But we always want to diversify with these mini-series. Previously with the 2CV, the Jaguar E-Type, the Delta Integrale here, one that we have to, in my opinion, try out in the game. So we're going to max this one out, get it up to as close to 680 as we can. We can see up to 596. And on first startup, it does indeed sound like the typical rally legend that the Delta Integrale is. Bit of a roar coming off that one. After upgrading it, of course, we don't expect this to handle fantastically well. It is set up for off-road racing, power sliding through a bit of a tight right-hander here, but we do come up into today's first race, where of course we are going to push on with the aptly named Live Race Event 3. In the Delta Integrale, some interesting cars were coming up against. That Porsche Taycan may be one we do need to worry about. We know that they are frighteningly quick, as are the TTRS. Starting off with no audio once again in that race. We can see the Porsche Taycan did get a good launch off the line, as did that Alpine. Very interesting, as we do collect the back end of that Taycan, the Alpine sliding off the track. Yeah, the Taycan having a bit of strange braking going on there. We do take over first place into the left-hander, stretch out that track right over to the other side, maximise our speed here. A bit of an unsettled left-hand bump there into a heavy left-hander. We could actually carry more power through that when it does fail. Collecting a lamppost, aren't being too clean with this race so far, but we are in first place and we have dropped the AI. Once again, this is a wet track, so I did put on the standard tyres instead of the off-road, as we do go a little bit wide there. It does seem like the AI don't have the best choice of tyres thus far. Into a left-hander, once again it seems like we could take a little bit more speed into this corner, but we power through another tight left-hander up ahead here. So very much an anti-clockwise circuit here. A couple of right-handers, but predominantly left-handers. We can take a lot more speed through some of these. They haven't been the quickest of turns that we've negotiated so far, but powering ahead here. It is a fast section of the track here. We can stay essentially flat out, maybe a couple of small lifts just to keep us stable on the track as we do come up into this tight left-hander before we go down towards the start-finish line and complete out lap 1. Once again, we could have been a little bit more clinical, a bit faster through that turn, but we negotiated it pretty well, crossing line with a 1 minute 31 for lap 1. I think there's probably upwards of 10 seconds we could maybe make up on that track. Of course, it was a standing start, so hopefully lap 2 is a bit cleaner and a bit faster for us. Once again, through the first series of left-handers here, largely flat out, couple of lifting points, settle the back end down a little bit quicker through this little section, left hand, right hand this time out, but I do feel like we could go quicker once again, slightly losing the back end, a bit of a four-wheel drift. We could be a little bit cleaner here, but I have also, before we came into this race, put a little bit of a tune onto the Delta Integrale. It felt like third gear, there was a large flat point, so dropping down some of those gear ratios, dropping down the final drive. It seems like I've got rid of that flat spot in third gear, and we can see we do push through into fourth gear, and it does seem like that flat spot has completely gone. So it's good to play about with those gear ratios. Haven't played out too much with the suspension, as I was expecting more off-road challenges with this one. Might come back to regret that a little later. Through the left-hander, right-hander section once again, we know we could be largely flat out, maybe have just a small lift to keep the back end stable, but overall a much cleaner lap this time out, braking a little bit later, and again we could have went so much faster there. A little bit of a handbrake power slide to round out that left-hander as we do cross the start-finish line with a 2 minute 56.43 overall, taking out first place. Not much competition from the AI. Moving on next to race 1. Staggering the order here, we can see we are the lead Delta Integrale this time out. No Sentiero in this race, which I'm thankful for, but I am still quite worried about that F-150 up ahead. Those things are ridiculous in some of these off-road races, one that I will be trying out in the future. As we do come over an unsettled jump from the tarmac into the gravel, we get collected by the AI, and I've done this race 3, 4, maybe 5 times, and every single time we get collected by the AI at that point. It just seems like they all barrel into one another, and they do collect us. As we come into this left-hander, we do collect the AI, we get our own back, but we try to stay on the back of the F-150. It has been sensational in these off-road races. The back end's quite lively on it, as we do outbrake ourselves, and we come to a dead stop, the F-150 getting some ground on us, but we can see just how lively that F-150 is coming up the hill as we lose the back end. We fall off the circuit, and goes our chances of winning out this domination race. It does seem. Tried to do a little switch back here in the Integrale. Thankful to see that G-Wagon stuck up in the grass. You guys will know by now, I hate those cars. We do now have an Audi TT RS up ahead, as we have a big challenge there with the wall on the left hand side, and we get clattered by that G-Wagon and pushes us forward into the wall once again. The G-Wagon cutting up the inside of us. I will not be beaten by a G-Wagon in these races. That is the target. First place is well and truly gone. That F-150 is out of sight. So we'll be challenging ourselves, we'll be pushing ourselves as hard as we can to stay ahead of that F-150. And it does seem like I have misplaced a vehicle, and I think it might be the Porsche. I think that might actually be in first place, totally losing us from the start of the race. What is that just up ahead? That is the F-150, I believe. So yeah, we've got a bit of ground to make up here, even just to stay on the podium. We need to keep that G-Wagon behind us. But yeah, miscounted the cars off the start of this race. The F-150 though, completely out of sight. Both cars at that hairpin up ahead. Yeah, we're going to have to fight here to keep the podium. Not had the cleanest of runs overall. We might catch up with that F-150, but with it being a domination race, too many gates have been passed as we almost split the Integrale here. Too many gates have been passed. We're not going to get any higher than third place, but it's going to be a fight as the G-Wagon comes up the inside of us there. It is well and truly going to be a fight to stay in third place as we do charge down into the left-hander up ahead, 2x gate. Oh, narrowly avoiding contact with the G-Wagon once again as we come through this section. Right-hander up ahead, the G-Wagon pushing us wide into the railings. It's getting a little bit dirty, a little bit feisty here, the G-Wagon up our arse once again, but we do still manage to stay ahead of it. Third on track, third on points. Yeah, elbows out to finish out today's race. I'm keeping that G-Wagon behind us. They are just awful cars, shouldn't be as competitive as they are, and we will try our hardest to keep it behind. With only, what's that, one gate left to go, we should be fine even if the G-Wagon does pass us. As we do go wide up the bankings, we do manage to just cut off the front of that G-Wagon. We do cross the line on 1,000 points. We do finish on the podium. Lastly here, we will move over to live event race number 2. Again, we will be in the Delta Integrale. We do have a Sentiero in this race, so we're a little bit cautious with that one. We know that they are phenomenally quick off-roaders. We do get a decent enough launch, the GT Continental kind of blocking out that Sentiero buggy, which is very thankful, keeping it behind us. Let's try and cut up the inside of the GT Continental here. We do manage to do so, but we outbrake ourselves, and that Sentiero buggy absolutely charges up the inside of everyone. Tight right-hander here once again. This one here, you will get clattered, you will get collected by the AI. As we do at this point, we do end up crossing in fourth, I believe. Yeah, fourth place there. Really messy corner there. The AI do tend to take us out whenever we do approach it. We do slide down the track, and we do say slide and not drive, taking out that Audi TTRS with an Urus just ahead. I'm fairly confident we can charge down that Urus and take first place, hoping that that Sentiero buggy falling off the track has lost enough time that we don't really face much of a challenge of it in this outing. A couple of tight right-handers down here. We need to really try and make up some time on that Urus to try and get past it, try and take out first place. It is a sprint race, so it's not domination. We know we just have to stay tidy on the track as the Lamborghini Urus does get out of shape. We do just cut up the inside of it. Rubbing is racing as always as the Urus comes back at us, helping us out a little bit round that left-hander so we don't collect the rocks on the left-hand side. Tight right-hander here, we do just clip that wall. We get stuck on the wall, in fact, there. We do need to, keep off of those walls. Lose far too much time. Nice little tight right left-hand section there. Right-hand, left-hand, once again, we do drift wide. But as we come down into this right-hander, we do have a little bit of breathing space between us and the Lamborghini Urus. Very little, that may be. As we start to come up the hills towards the tarmac section once again, we should be able to get the power down coming up these hills, hopefully create a little bit of a gap from that Urus so we can charge forward towards the start to finish line. Around about 15% or so left of this race back onto the tarmac. We have created that gap from the Urus. We can be cautious here. We know we've not got the best handling of tarmac cars, perhaps not even the best handling of off-road cars. Slightly underwhelmed by the performance of the Delta Integrale, but we have to try new cars in these series. I love having these series to get us into all these different cars. We do just negotiate that right-hander and we do charge forward to the start-finish line and we do cross first, rounding out the race series for today. Well, not quite. We would be remiss if we didn't come back and get back in the rally legend. That rally legend, of course, being Brum, the 2CV, somewhat of a cult hero now on the channel. It has been phenomenal in these off-road races, and it probably shouldn't be. We know it's largely underrated for the PR, largely underpowered. But off the line, we can see we're already making up a few places here in the 2CV, getting good traction with off-road tyres fitted, coming up to the hill, starting to charge down the back of the Sentiero buggy, which is very surprising. But we've caught the back of it once again nonetheless. The AI, like we already know, collect each other in this corner, so we try to stay a little bit tighter, cut up the inside of the buggy. A bit of a fisty fight there with the Lancia Delta Integrale. The Integrale goes wide, we stay tight. The 2CV is just ridiculously powerful on these off-road races, whether it's the slick tyres or the sharp turning that we can get the front end to negotiate. The 2CV is just ridiculous. We're charging down once again a Mercedes G-Wagon. We will not be beaten by a G-Wagon in these race series. Hate these cars with a passion. We will stick the 2CV up the inside, try and push that G-Wagon wide as it undercuts us there, but we do manage to just stay ahead of the G-Wagon, push forward, claim out that checkpoint. And we've got a nice little tight section up ahead where we already know the 2CV tends to perform quite well. As like we just seen, that G-Wagon tried to take us out on the back end, crashed into the wall and released us into a little bit of fresh air, a bit of breathing space behind us. I'm not quite sure what car that is behind us, but we will try our hardest, we will stay ahead and we will win a race with the 2CV. That's of course going to be the hope. We want to keep this as a cult hero, which, you know, it's kind of formed over the last few mini-series here. The 2CV really proving to be a fantastic off-road car, which it really shouldn't be, but with its slim tyres, its lightweight and its nimble moving, it has proven to be ridiculously good off-road. As we come back to an on-road section, once again, even with those off-road tyres, we're actually able to get down the power, get some traction in the 2CV and pull away from the AI, and we've really pulled away from the AI. The 2CV even outperforming that Lancia Delta Integrale that we built for this Halloween special race series. As we make a meal of that right-hander collecting the lamppost, it won't matter all too much. We've got a huge amount of breathing space and we do cross the line in first place to round out Halloween week on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Now yes, the rewards aren't much to write home about. A sticker, that's the reward for this race series. Yes, we could have better rewards. Yes, it could be a car, it could be credits, it could be something. But without complaining about the rewards, I want to emphasise on the fun that we've had with these race series. Now yes, this time out we could have went in any car. It could have been a TTRS, could have been the GT Continental, it could have been that Ford F-150. But with this largely being focus towards off-road races, I wanted to get in a Rally Legend, the Lancia Delta Integrale. Perhaps not proving to be the Rally Legend that it truly is, we did still manage to win a few of those races, a couple of challenges within it. But overall, yeah, quite impressed once again. Maybe not the best of the mini-series that have come out so far, 2CV and obviously the classic races that we've had. I would say have been better, but once again, I do see this as a bit of a masterclass from Test Drive Unlimited and the developers putting these mini-series into the game. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and also please let me know what car you chose to do this mini-series. Did you go with the meta? Did you use the Sentiero buggy? Or did you build something specifically for this race series? Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Tune in for the next update on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.